GoHighLevel to manage that. So, and getting more and more into his processes there for the office, that he's getting a person on board that I'm going to train on GoHighLevel tomorrow. So yeah.
So you're going to try and get him. So you mean like a second paid account on GoHighLevel?
Yeah, a second paid account. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's sub accounts, it's separate sub accounts. I'm gonna explain that, like, because it can only connect to one Google profile, business profile listing and all that jazz, and having separated campaign for the social planner and stuff. It's completely two different entities, because one is only doing the outdoor playground, not because he has to be a bit strategic, because he cannot go into competition with his supplier, European supplier, for the indoor playground at the moment, until he does the production in South Africa. So it's it's a whole game at the moment. So yeah.
Gotcha. I mean,
but it's interesting because it's really developing into bringing me in contact with other players which are interesting. So, but I'm spending so much time with my two main clients at the moment that my growth work is a little bit suffering. So I need to figure out a way to to switch that. But it's a bit panic mode at the French Canadian tour operator at the moment with what's happening. So yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What's happening? What?
All the geopolitical things. I mean, that cuts so many destination because of the flights and stuff. The price have skyrocketed for the flights, and people hesitate to book their holidays in advance like that with the uncertainty. So all that kind of things. So for him, it's a big problem. So we work hard on finding other solution, other type of.
You're not filling me with hope. You're not filling me with hope at all. I have to book flights, and I didn't know that.
No, but there's people, when you want to go to destination like Vietnam, or when you go to, some of them you can go, like Japan, you can go the other way from Montreal. But the other one, you are going through the Middle East. So in a lot of destination, he had one of his big destination is Egypt. All that kind of jazz. So yes. People are hesitating.
Jeez, that is, yeah. I mean, my sister, she's still, she's like the head of a primary, like a school over there, and she said the schools probably won't return until maybe like what would you call it, like the fall, the autumn, maybe at best. That's what's happening, and it could be even longer. So. Yeah, she said the other night that she was woken up in the middle of the night with an explosion happening as well. So, yeah. And there's not. I mean, what can you do really? There's not much you can really do about it. You just have to kind of wait it out. So,
he waited it out with COVID, so he's been able to survive COVID with the business. But
true.
It's just you need to look at niches, opportunities. Like now we are refocusing the whole marketing on South America, Central America, and Europe. So yeah.
I mean, he can't control that, right? He has to just ebb and flow with whatever the demand really goes. I mean, I've got to fly. It's the worst possible. If you could ever pick a time not to have a wedding, not my wedding, but someone else's wedding, it would be in a city where the World Cup is happening during the World Cup, right? That would be the worst. That would be the worst time if to pick one. And then you add in Toronto to that mix, which is just ridiculous, generally speaking, in terms of accommodation and stuff. So that's where I have to go. I've got to go to Toronto in the middle of July or early July during the World Cup, and I haven't booked anything yet, which is another stupid idea. But maybe this is my way of not having to go to the wedding. I don't know. Manifestation to not have to go. We'll see. I'll just let a few more people join here. We're only 3 minutes past the hour, so I'll let a few more people hop in before we dive in. But do you have any questions before
No, I don't have any specific question now.
No? Okay. Perfect. Does anybody have any questions before we dive in? Usually we do Q&A at the start and then also at the end as well. So,
hey, Nyla, this is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I just got a quick question on the lead mash. I was trying to get 1,000 leads. So you have to go to Apollo first, right, and get the leads, and then copy that URL into lead mash, right? So I went to lead mash to just pay for 1,000 leads, and it says my credit card, it wouldn't process it for some reason. I called my credit card company. They said everything's fine, nothing on their end. But I've tried numerous times to get those leads, and for some reason it just doesn't process and just says that payment failed. So I can't get the leads from lead mash. So I don't know if there's another alternative or.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of other alternatives. I would reach out to them because they'll be able to send you a separate link, like an invoice link. I know it's only $3, but they'll be able to send you like an invoice link that might work. Because sometimes what happens is just there's no real rhyme or reason for it, to be honest. It's the bank doesn't necessarily block it, but for some reason the payment gateway does. So I've experienced that before. That's probably what's happening, and it might be.
All right, so I can just contact them directly, lead mash.
Yeah, see if they'll send you like an invoice link or something.
All right.
And if there are also alternatives, there's Google Maps extractors as well that are pretty good. That you can extract leads from Google Maps and searches like electricians or HVAC, which would be good for you in Fort Myers. Just
right. That's why I was just trying to get as HVAC contractors. And
so I think I would also look at a Google Maps extractor tool and just do a search on Google Maps and do it for Fort Myers, and it'll pull all the data for you as well. That's what I do. But I think they'll be able to sort you out though if you just reach out to them. They'll send you a link over.
All right.
Thanks. Right. No worries. Does anybody else have any questions before we dive into today's workshop? Feel free to ask. Just unmute yourself. I'll give you a couple of seconds here to ask the questions. No questions. All right. We will come back to questions at the end as well, as usual. And as we progress through this training, if you do have questions, just like I always say, I should really have like one of those strings that I pull, from Toy Story, the Woody doll, it just repeats the same thing all the time. I should have one of those things. If you have a question during this call or during this workshop, unmute yourself and just talk over me and ask. It's not rude. It's absolutely fine. I can't see the chat as frequently because I'm on a different tab with the presentation. So just unmute yourself and ask if you have anything. So without further ado, we'll dive into the training today. Now, this training today is all about what I would do if I had to rebuild from zero, from brand new today, no brand, nothing at all. What do I do? And I'll just, every so often, I'll pause just to let people into the room like I'm doing right now. So if you hear me pause, that's what I'm doing. So what I would do if I had to start again completely from scratch, what would I do? How would I build it all back up again? And it's going to be more of a direct session today. I'm going to be quite strategy focused. I'm going to be, it's going to be very actionable, and it'll be action packed as well. And I'm going to share exactly what I'd do right now if I was starting again from zero. And I'm going to keep it very straightforward, which means you will be able to replicate this. You can take this today and I will give you action steps at the end. You can replicate exactly what I would do. I'm going to give you numbers you've never seen before. I'm going to show you real insights into exactly what we experience right now in terms of numbers. And you'll see why we do this, right? This is literally, I was on our ad accounts before this to get those numbers. These are directly from those accounts. Now, we have lots of customer acquisition systems, but I'm going to focus directly on a few in particular, simply because of automation and speed to market. This is not going to be my most eloquent model. This is going to be straight to action, right? There's better ways I can do this. There's fancier ways I can do this. This is basically the just get it done way. I can build other assets into it as I progress, but this is day one of building all of this again. Now, first of all, my offer, an objective. I have one objective. and I want to have conversations. That's it. All I want is conversations. And this will make a lot more sense as we progress, why I'm specifically saying this. Because yes, it's not just about, yes, we want sales calls, but it's not just about sales calls. I also want automatic purchases, but I still want to speak to them. And I'll explain why. And there are a few ways that we can go about doing this, but my goal is to have a conversation, and that's it. Nothing more. I just want to speak to the person. I want them to lower the barriers. I want them to have that level of trust. I just want to speak to the person. Now, as for well, first of all, if I can have that conversation, I can upsell, cross-sell, and I can expose additional problems that we can fix. So following the framework of solve one problem creates a secondary problem. We then solve the secondary problem. This is the nature of upsells. That's how we do it, right? We just create new problems. We don't create new, we expose new problems. For example, if somebody needs leads and we solve that problem and we can provide the leads, what's the next problem? The next problem is they don't know how to sell something. So the sales component comes into play. I can then provide sales training, etc. So you see how once we solve one particular problem, it exposes and creates the next problem. That's how our next product fits the gap, right? So we're going to have natural upsells and natural cross sells as well. So let me let someone in here. And I'm also going to isolate attention. This is a very important one. You probably haven't seen this too often, but I'm going to isolate attention. Social media is rampant, as we all know. It's everywhere. Every time you log on to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it might be, it's trying to get your attention. Billboards, TV, all of this is trying to get our attention. So we have information overload. What we have to do and what I want to do is I want to isolate the attention. I want them to consume information away from these platforms because it allows me to speak to the person without the noise. We're going to be exposing the problems and we're going to be building trust very, very quickly. So if you've ever been in a situation where maybe you don't have a lot of reviews, maybe you don't have a lot of testimonials, proof, etc., this is how we overcome this. You're going to see how we do it. As I said, this is me starting from day one. I don't have anything here, right? The 150 plus reviews that we have, don't have them, nothing. So this is how we go about it. And we shall progress. Now, the offer structure that I will go with is the AI employees and the automation system. So all the 26 different niches that we run, every single one of them, I'm replicating this process. Now, there's a reason that I'm focusing on these particular services, these AI employees and the automation systems. The reason for this is actually simplicity. Once I'm just letting someone in here. All right. The reason is simplicity. Because if I'm starting from zero, starting again, I don't want to worry about client fulfillment. I don't want to have to worry about it at all. I want all of my energy focused on getting sales across the line. That's it. I'm focusing my attention only on that. If you run different offers, if you run offers that have variables, like if you try to run media buying or you try and run SEO or whatever it might be, you have to focus on client fulfillment and lead generation. You've got to focus on both of these. So it dilutes your attention. If I want a fast start and I want the fastest start possible, I need to make sure my attention is only on customer acquisition. That's why I'm going to run AI employees. That's why I'm going to run database reactivation, etc., because it's static. It doesn't move. The fulfillment is right there. We install the system and we go. That's it. We just install it, progress. I don't have to worry about it at all. So 100% of my focus goes on to customer acquisition and lead generation. I also don't need to be perfect, right? As I said earlier, this is not my fanciest model. It's not my most eloquent. I could add all the bells and whistles. None of this. This is going to be simple, very direct. And this is very important. Now, don't panic when you see this sentence. I don't care about profit immediately. Now, immediately means within the first 24 hours. You're going to see how it progresses very, very quickly to ridiculous returns on investment, basically within 30 days. You're going to see how it does this. But this sentence is really important because it's going to change how you operate a little bit. It's all about attention. The best offers in the market isolate the retention, and it opens the door for us. So I'm looking to get them off these platforms. I'm looking to get them from all the competitors out there, giving them different offers. I want to take that person and isolate that person out of that noise. And then I'm going to use offers to open the door for me. Now, as I said, I don't care about perfect. When I'm in this mode, this mode where I'm trying to, there's nothing holding me back. I am going to progress no matter what I do very, very quickly. I don't care about perfect. I don't care about the noise in the market. I don't care about the competitors. I will take a simple problem, a problem-solving service, and provide it as a great deal to a business and install it. So when I say great deal, what I mean is it's going to be a ridiculous offer. It is going to be ridiculously good that they can't say no to it. I don't care about profit at this point. All I care about is attention. But I just said, don't worry, you're going to get paid. Now, if I get their attention because I have the best offer in the market, it's going to isolate it. These days, social media is incredibly noisy. It's so easy to get distracted. People want to have their thoughts organized. Over the last few weeks in these workshops, we've spoken about how people buy organization, right? That's why education exists. That's why people can, they've got ChatGPT now. You can ask it any question you want. You can go to YouTube, get any piece of information that you want, but it's disorganized. That's why people still buy these drop shipping things and stuff like that, right? You can get all of that, but they still buy it because it's organized for them. That's the difference. So in this scenario, these customers, these clients, they want to find a trusted source because it removes the decision making and the distraction. It gives them clarity and a straight line to follow, right? So we're going to be creating offers that give them this straight line. I have to provide this. That's exactly what I do. So I want to provide clarity. I want to eliminate distractions. I want to have the best offer, and I want to open the door. These are the keys that we're going to be working with. Now, I have a service stack to choose from. I want to offer the entire service system, right? I want to offer the $1,000 per month. But that doesn't mean we can't break this down. So to overcome trust barriers and market noise, I've got to have a better offer than everybody else. Because all I need to do is have the conversation with the business owner. That's it. If I can have that conversation, I can upsell, I can cross-sell. Is it crazy installing an automation system into their business for a ridiculously low price? Of course it is. It's nuts to do it. People will tell you it's crazy to do it. People will tell you the prices that we have at times are crazy. You could charge 10 times that. But there's a reason we don't, because it's the bigger picture, right? Again, you'll see how all of this works. But the whole concept, the reason why we would do this is, and listen to this carefully, is very, very important. In order for me to install a system and activate it, they have to speak to me. If I want to install reviews, database reactivation, I've got to speak to the customer. I've got to get their lead list. I've got to have it uploaded. I've got to ask them the details about their business. I have to open the conversation. So when you're out there and there's so many people trying to get sales calls booked on paid advertising and things like that, they're competing in this massive pool of low attention, whereas we're having these conversations where it's not even a sales call. We're opening the door better and faster than everybody else. So when I speak to these prospects, what I do is I expose further problems, right? They might come in for reviews, but after that, we've gone down the path of AI employees. We've gone down the path of referrals. Database reactivation, lifetime value, customer lifetime value. Not because we're trying to sell them it, we're just trying to help them. That's all we're doing. We're helping them. So this means I have a service stack to choose from here. Okay. Now, as many of you may already know, our goal is to charge about $1,000 per month for that service stack, for the different automations and AI employees all combined. That's our goal. That's what we're aiming for. But it doesn't mean I can't break the services up individually, right? I can offer 1, 2, 3 of the different services at a much lower introductory rate. Use the conversation of getting them set up to then ascend them to this. So when everybody is battling for sales calls, we're selling warm leads, this package, because of this. And I'll show you how this works. Now, the service stack that we run with, we have AI employees, database reactivation, the review users. Wait 1 second to let someone in here. So we have AI employees, database reactivation, the review accelerators, the referral flywheels, and the lifetime value systems. This is the $1,000 per month, this whole thing, right? That's what we charge 1K per month for. Again, a ridiculously low price, but it doesn't mean we can't segment these, all of them, and offer them individually to open the door, right? This is the concept. We're opening the door with the individual services. Now, the only caveat to this is if I'm going to offer an AI employee, I would still do this on a recurring nature. I can do things like a database reactivation campaign for them, maybe like a spring reawakener or whatever campaign for the database reactivation. I can run a review campaign one time. I can run a referral campaign, and I can't really install that, but as for one time. But I can do all of these 3 for one-time payments, all of them. This one I would stick to recurring. Now, this information is going to be important in a few seconds, so retain that. So this is going to be recurring. These can be one time. The whole package is $1,000 per month, and that's our goal. So it's all about solving problems, which then creates the next problem. And this is how you upsell. We ascend naturally. We're not forcing them to buy. We're not holding things back. We're not saying, oh, well, if you want that extra piece of information, you've got to buy the next thing. No, we'll give it to them. We'll tell them exactly what to do. If they want us to do it for them, or they want to go faster, we can do it. We're naturally bringing that person up, not by selling hard, just by simply exposing the next problem. Now, the beautiful thing is in local markets, in the 26 different niches, from HVAC to plumbers, electricians, and real estate, etc., 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 they are all, number one, extremely busy on a day-to-day basis. They're on site, let's say. They are trying to order supplies. They're trying to do their tax returns. They're trying to hire more people, more contractors for their job. They're trying to deal with customers, potential customers. They're trying to follow up with proposals. They're trying to, what was I going to say there? They're trying to deal with people who are off sick that day, replace those people. They're then going home exhausted after being on site all day to their family. And maybe they want to have dinner with their kids and go to soccer practice or whatever it might be. All of these things, they're too busy to think. They just want you to do it for them. And the second part is everybody's lazy. That's the thing, right? So many people out there are very, very lazy. They just want you to take care of it for them. So you can tell them exactly how to do it. They'll never do it. That's why they'll pay you to do it. So remember that. We're not pushing hard for upsells. We're just ascending naturally here. Now, here's an example. If we increase the number of reviews a business has, they appear further up on Google naturally. The more recent the reviews, the better the reviews, the higher they typically will rank. They get more interested calls because their trust factor increases, right? If number one, they're higher up on Google, number two, people are choosing them more over competitors because they've got better and more recent reviews, they're going to get more phone calls. So their phone starts to ring even more. So by solving the no reviews, by solving the problem of they lose business because the reviews are low or they're not great or they're not recent, they're old, we're solving this problem. All of a sudden, the new problem is the phone rings a lot more, right? The question is, can they answer the phones 24/7? Because the calls can come in at any point. If they're putting this work in, they don't want to lose that work, right? They don't want to waste that work. This means they have to answer the calls, otherwise they're wasting it. If they miss those phone calls, they're completely wasting the best kind of leads, the ones that are intent-based, the ones that are looking for them. Can they answer the phone around the clock? Or do they have a life to live as well? Well, we can solve that problem too, right? More demand, more interest, more calls. We can install an AI employee. Now, we've solved the problem of missing those phone calls. So you see how one door leads to the next door. Solving the reviews increases demand, which increases the pressure on the phone systems, sick days, time where they can't answer the phone, time when they're driving or whatever the case is, increases the pressure. They don't want to lose the work they've already done, the effort they've put in. So it creates a new problem. But then now that we're answering these phone calls, it creates a second problem. What about all those phone calls that they missed in the past? Well, fix the problem now, right? They've got an AI employee in place. It answers all the calls. What about the 4, 5, 6, 10 years where they were missing all those calls? What happens to those leads? Are they okay just accepting that as the money's lost? Are they okay accepting that the money they spent on Google ads previously, where the leads called but nobody answered, or they disappeared, or whatever it might be? Are they just happy accepting that's just lost revenue? Or would they recover it if they didn't have to put the work in? If we could make it easy for them, would they want to try recovering that revenue? All this stuff, all those missed calls in the past? Well, we can fix that by reactivating the database. And now they don't have to worry about missing any leads. If we reactivate the database, the phone's going to ring more. But again, we're covered because they've got an AI employee in place. They don't have to worry about it. They don't have that same friction anymore. So it's easy to say yes. Now that they've got leads coming in and being taken care of, do they try really hard to do good work? Probably do, right? Do they try hard to make the customer happy? Do they want to be rewarded for all of that effort? Yeah, they do. They want to be rewarded. They're putting in the work. They're going over and above for everybody. But it's a lot of work following up. It's a lot of work keeping that customer warm. They might promise them referrals, but they never deliver. They've got to follow up with them. Well, we can fix that. You see the pattern here? We can fix that by launching a referral automation, which means they're rewarded for their hard work and they don't have to keep paying to acquire new customers. All of a sudden, instead of having to run ads, instead of having to implement expensive SEO or Google ads or whatever it might be, we can create this cycle where their existing customers are referring new customers with no cost. We can allow them to acquire new customers, grow their customer base without having to pay for it. So you see, we're solving one problem, which opens the door and creates the next problem. It's not about trying to push more and more and more things. It's about exposing the mess. It's about exposing the chaos. Look, if your problems are reviews, great. We can fix that. No problem. But now your calls are going to increase. Are you organized in that sense? No, I'm not. Okay, we can fix that. It's all about how we organize the entire business. And this is how we upsell them, right? And the way we do this is by simply having a conversation with them. It takes us back to that conversation piece. We just want to have a conversation with these prospects. And this is why I do not care about selling a low price product to get in the door. I don't care, because it creates the conversation and it creates trust. The guard goes down on the conversation. It's not a sales call, it's fulfillment. And this is how we ascend people. And this would be my goal. So if I'm starting from scratch, what I want to do is I want to create this ecosystem where it just happens over and over and over again. And as I said, I'm going to show you how we do this. I want to open the door with that customer. Now, there are two methods that I will use to do that. First, I want my email system in place, right? I just want that done. I want it to be working in the background all the time because it's easy, it's low effort, it's low friction. I have to set it up once, then I'm good. I can just top it up every 2-3 months with some leads, and that's it. My system works. I don't have to do that much with it. And there's a little caveat to this that you probably haven't seen before, but we'll come on to that in a few seconds. Now, with the email system, I want to upload leads to this and have it sending every single day. I will always have these leads hyper-personalized. Always. I will never do it without it because it makes a tremendous difference. And for anyone that isn't familiar, that's the hyper-personalization engine, right? That hyper-personalization is when the system can research a prospect by clicking a button. It can do thousands at a time, and it will create custom emails or paragraphs for that email based on what it predicts that person's problem is from what it can find, right? On the website, it predicts what their problems are. So I always have these. That's my workflow. I get the leads. I upload them to our hyper-personalization system. I press the button. I download my updated spreadsheet. I upload it back again to GoHighLevel into my automation, lead gen automation. Go. That's it. That's my workflow process. I can do that with thousands of leads. I only have to top up the leads. So why wouldn't I do it, right? It's a pretty simple process. I just upload my leads and I let it run. This forms the foundation. We will directly book calls from this. It just sits in the background. I don't have to have it performing at 4, 5, 6% booking rates. I don't need that. I can just have it ticking over in the background, bringing in the calls whenever it can. Just bring them in, bring them in, bring them in, because it's a nice foundation to have. Very low effort, very low energy. I don't have to do too much because the next step, you're really going to see where this takes off. Now, one little twist on this. Now, there's some pretty good news coming as well for you here. We will also run emails, and this is something we've been testing, where instead of prompting to book a call initially, we will prompt them to call an AI employee number to basically take it for a test drive, take it for a test run, right? No call to action, just, hey, if you want to see what our plumbing AI employee sounds like and you want to have a chat with it, just call this number. And it can be a local number as well, which helps. Call this number, experience it for yourself. No next steps, nothing at all. Just literally, if you want to test this out yourself, here's the number. Just call this number and you'll experience it. It's experiential proof. Now, my call to action is for them to test it out. That's the goal. Just test it out. Not to book the call, because the AI does the call booking for me. So when they have that conversation, the AI employee is trained to role play and then book them in for a call to get their own AI employee installed. So you can just send these emails. The AI is booking the calls. It's like proof in the pudding, right? It's experiential proof for them. They're just booking in calls for you, which sells the AI employee for you because they've experienced it. They know exactly what it's like. It's a beautiful scenario. So these emails go out all day long and they just sit in the background. And when they book, it's great. It's fantastic. Very solid foundation, very low effort, very, very low energy. Now, the good news is this new strategy that we've been testing, we're going to be releasing it to all of you. And no cost, you don't have to pay just for being a member, right? You're going to get that. So what I mean by this is it doesn't just include the email automation. You're actually going to get the AI employee that's trained to nurture that customer, have that conversation with them, then turn them to booking an appointment. So it's going to role play, then it will book them in for that appointment. So you'll also get the email automations that prompt them to do that, all built for you. So there's nothing you have to do. You just have to put your name in the emails. And again, it will be pulling from your GoHighLevel accounts as well, whether it's your own account or whether it's an account with us. It does not matter. You can use either. It will pull the business information, your business information from it. So it'll be completely custom to you. They'll be speaking to your business, and it's going to help you book a lot of calls very, very quickly. So that's what we have coming for you. As I said, it won't cost you anything. It will just be added to your account. Now, the second channel that I would run is the ladder funnel. So the emails are foundation, sits in the background beautifully, just books in calls whenever it can. The second channel is the ladder funnel. And this is where I'm going to show you my numbers. I do this very specifically. We're producing 400% on the front end at the moment, which does not include recurring revenue, right? Doesn't include it. Simply front end, 400% return. And we're going to go into the details. So the reason I do this is because, once again, all I need to do is have a conversation with the business owner. This ladder funnel is built around a service, which means even at $27, I need to engage with that business owner to deliver. So it doesn't matter if I offer any of these systems here, reviews, referrals, database reactivation. I can offer any of those, and it's a ridiculously low price. You'll call me crazy for it. Ridiculously low price. But in order to do this, they've got to talk to me. Right? They have to have the conversation. In order to fulfill, they have to speak to me. And then when they speak to me, that's when I can expose the other problems. So it's not a sales call. It's what I call essentially an ascension call, right? They're ascending up the ladder, but we're just helping them. That's all we're doing. So the ladder funnel is built around a service here, not a product, not an informational product, a service, which means even at $27, I have to engage with that business owner to deliver. And it opens the door and it has the conversation that I'm looking for. So we're going to come on to what these are specifically in a few minutes. But the first product is usually one of these services here. Then there's a few different things we can do. So for example, if we do reviews here, we can do referrals over here as an upgrade, or priority handling. So if this is installed in 7 days, we can install it in 24 hours for an extra $97. People will pay for that. And then this one here is typically an AI employee, right? That's what it usually is, a recurring service. That's the goal. But we'll come on to that in a bit more detail in a few moments. Now, why does a service sell on the front end? The key is because it's a done-for-you service. This is so important. If you try to sell an educational product, it will sell. It will simply sell at a lower pace, a lower rate. It'll be more expensive to sell. And that's fine. The numbers still work out. But a ladder funnel traditionally sets to break even, right? That's the goal. I want to spend $1 and get $1 back plus a lead. That's what I want to do. Make no money and then convert the leads to a higher price service. That's typically the goal. This kind of ladder funnel profits on the front end. It doubles our money. I spend $1, I get $2 back. How aggressive can I be then, right? My reinvestment. And then I've got $2, I've got $1 profit, plus I have a lead to work. Now, obviously, those are simplified numbers. You're going to see real numbers in a few minutes. But the point is, because this is a done-for-you service, it removes all of the friction from them. It makes it very easy. There's no secondary cost, and this is important. This is very important. There's no secondary cost. A secondary cost is what else they have to do, right? If they buy a program of sorts, if they buy an ebook, If anything of that sort. The secondary cost is they have to read it. They have to implement it. The other risk is that they aren't capable of implementing it. So you see how it's not just the $27. There are additional costs that they have to pay and that they factor. Maybe they don't factor it on a piece of paper, think pros and cons, right? Subconsciously, they're factoring it. Done for you service removes that because they get the outcome immediately. They just buy the thing, they get the outcome. Done and dusted. That fast. So it's an easy yes. Much, much easier. That's why it profits. There's much lower friction. No secondary cost. That's why it sells so well. So back onto this image here for a bit more detail. Give me 1 second, take a little sip of water. All right, I am back. Now, as a reminder, a ladder funnel sells a $27 product with a $27 order bump, typically. And then it has a subscription product in the middle of it. Now, typically, I wouldn't sell an AI employee on the front end for the $27. So I don't usually sell AI employees here. I would typically sell it here. The services that I would sell, just like I mentioned a few minutes ago, are these for the $27. That's what we're doing. One-time installations of these. One campaign, one installation. That's it. Right? We're doing one campaign of these services. Again, because the point is that they have to speak to us. And then we can build that relationship. So the review system setup, referral system, database reactivation, a single campaign. Then the order bump, this thing here, that's the little thing that you take at the checkout on a checkout page to add it to your order. The order bump would be one of the other services. So as I said, if it's a review system, well, we can add in database reactivation. If it's referrals, we can add in reviews. Any combination of these two, we can bring them together. Now, one important thing, I touched on it earlier, you can also offer, well, you can actually do multiple of these. Number one, you could do $27 one, then you can add a second one for $97. I love, especially with done for you services, priority processing, right? Fast track delivery, right? I love that because people want speed. They always want it now. So if we say our typical turnaround time is 4 days, but we'll do it in 24 hours and put you to the front of the queue, priority, just like Amazon Prime, right? But it's $97. You'll be amazed at how many people add that in. You will be amazed. And I'm going to show you how many people add that in a few moments. Now, this does amazing things for your numbers. Now, then I would sell the recurring product. And the recurring product would be an AI employee installation, as the subscription would be $97 or $197 a month, right? You could downsell a chatbot if you want to, but I don't really use the downsell that much. I like to keep it quick because remember, there's another step after this, right? You can't see it yet, but there's another step. I don't want to tire out the audience by adding too many upsells and downsells. I want to keep it quite clean, simple. Do they want this? Do they want to add this stuff in? And here's an AI employee high value offer. Do you want to add that into? That's it. Very clean cut. Now, this type of funnel, what you're looking at, ignoring what comes afterwards, right? All this stuff, ignore that. This can operate at a 2x return on ad spend. So you're doubling your money on a daily basis. Imagine that. Imagine playing. Have you ever heard of those the roulette strategies where you can double your money all the time and it just gets riskier and riskier, but the probability is high enough that you're supposed to make money? It's like that without the risk, right? Imagine that, where you're just able to double your money every day without actually really having to do that much. You're not having to work one-on-one with customers or clients. You're just simply building up recurring services, doubling your money. You spend $100 today, you make 200 back. Do that every day. You get to the points where you'll be confidently spending 300, 400, 500 because you make 1,000. You get to that point because it's not about what's my ad budget. If I told you spend $10 and you get 20 back, you're going to say, well, can I not spend 100? It changes your mindset to ads, this process. And some of you may have seen this. Some of you may have experienced this coming into our world, these types of systems. I've done this for years and years, probably about 6 years now, this particular system. And it works incredibly well. The key is making sure all this stuff is actually high value and high quality. That's the key. So you spend $1 and get $2 back immediately. About 10 to 20% at that price point are going to take this, right? They're going to upgrade to your subscription, 10 to 20%. If this was a bit lower price, you might get up to like 30, 40%. But at $97 to $197 a month, 10 to 20% will upgrade. Now, that leaves at least 80% of people who have not been sold yet, right? 80% of your buyers of this have not been sold. I would then nurture them. I would get them onboarded for their product so that they book their call to get this installed. Get them onboarded. And then this is where your $1,000 per month service comes into play. You expose the problems just like I did. If you have reviews, well, what about referrals? Do you have repeat business? Do you have an old list of leads you spent a fortune on? What happens when your phone rings? What happens at 7 o'clock tonight when someone, let's say it was a plumber, what happens when, or an electrician, what happens when someone's heating goes out at 7 o'clock and you're at dinner? That could be $1,000. That could be a $3,000 or $10,000 boiler or whatever. You never know. We can fix that problem though. That's how we're getting that $1,000 per month service installed. I'm just going to check here for the question. Daryl's asking, Hannah, how does the system perform the database reactivation for existing leads? By sending them emails to nurture them and then provide offers besides emails or the other ones. Yeah, basically it presents them with an offer. That's the idea. Like they'll take old leads, reactivate them by presenting an offer, and it will also use SMS. And now you can do outbound calling as well, actually. So you could have it call or have the AI call the prospect. You could do that too. So what we're doing is we're allowing this funnel to operate, and then we're taking the customers who don't buy or don't upgrade and ascending them into the $1,000 per month service. You've got 80% of your audience. And remember, you're making money off this every single month as well. The numbers that we're going to look at, the numbers that I'm about to show you, don't account for monthly recurring revenue. They don't account for the second month, the third month, the fourth month. Our retention is more like 12 months. They don't account for any of that. Imagine how profitable this becomes. So bear that in mind, right? When what you're about to see, bear that in mind. Here are some real numbers. This is what I'm seeing. It's a 400% return. And this is immediate, not recurring. As I said, none of these payments are recurring. Well, they are recurring. They're not counted. So whenever that customer pays their $97, $197, $1,000 per month, the second month, third month, it's not included in this calculation. 400%. So I'm not doubling my money. I'm putting $1 in and getting $4 back. Think about that, right? $1 in and getting $4 back. If I spend $1,000, I get $4,000 back daily. Think about the power. Now, I'm not telling you to spend that much. That's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm just showing you where this goes. And these are real numbers. This is my cost per link click, $1.96. My front end, my $27 done for you service converts at 8%. I'd actually like to get up, improve the page. I'd like to get that to 12%, but it's converting at 8%. My order bump, 68.9%. That's ridiculous. Most people, if you've ever come across these funnels, they'll tell you an order bump might convert at 25%. This is what we're working with because of how it's positioned, because it's a done-for-you service, because it makes complete sense as the next product. 68.9%. And then I've got 12% of people upgrading immediately into that recurring product. Now, we're not finished yet. We also have the 1K a month upgrade, right? Where they've got the $1,000 per month managed service where we actually run the AI employees, the reactivation. We've got the referrals, the reviews, and the lifetime value maximization. We're implementing that system into their business and we're running it for $1,000 per month, just like I recommend that you do. Didn't even account for it. Now, I'm going to show you what this actually means, but these are our numbers. These are the conversion rates. This here, the order bump, people often ask me, do I have to have one of these? This shows you the difference. Look how powerful this actually is. Look at how much higher the conversion rate is than everything else. This is so important. And a very good thing you can do, I mentioned earlier, you could have multiple of these, right? You can have if you did reviews, you can then offer them $27 for database reactivation. You could also add in $27 for another campaign, like a spring campaign. You can then offer $97 for priority processing. So that would be 97, 27, 27. So what's that? That's $150. Then you offer the 3-pack for 97 all in one. They're all going to take that. So you're going to get huge numbers, all paying you not $27, but $97 on the order bump. So you see the different things we can do to really crank these numbers. Now, basically, if I spend $5,000 over the course of a month, right? $5,000 over the course of a month, it produces 2,551 link clicks. Down here, link clicks. This produces 204 front-end sales, 204, and $5,508 in revenue just in the $27 product. So my 5K in spend is covered from the first $27 product. This is unheard of when it comes to any form of funnel like this. But the reason is because it's a ridiculously good deal on a done-for-you service. So it's very low price, very tangible benefit. They get the outcome immediately. There's no secondary cost they have to pay. That's why the numbers work so well. So the $27 product, the first one, produces $5,508. Let's call it $5,500. The order bumps is 68.9%, I think I said. 68.9% produces 140 sales and $3,700 in additional revenue. The subscription upgrades, which is 12%, produces $2,328 in simple monthly recurring revenue. Then, the part we haven't covered yet, I have 5% of 204 people. So remember, 204 people bought this. 5% of them buy the $1,000 per month upgrade. 5%. So that's 10 people, which produces 10,000 in monthly recurring revenue on top of all of this. So the total revenue produced in this cycle is that, not accounting for the lifetime value, which we'll come on to in a second. I've spent this, I've produced this on the front end. Doesn't include any additional lifetime value. Now, the reason this works is because no matter what I sell on the front end, it opens the conversation. The trust barriers go down because they're not booking a sales call, they're onboarding for product delivery. That's the difference. It's a different frame entirely. It's much softer, much easier. We're simply giving them more of what they want, solving additional problems. So I run this system, and it's extremely fast to set this up because I don't have to create products. None of these are products that I create, right? None of them. They're done for you services. You can create nothing. You already have it, actually. All the service delivery, the fulfillment, the systems, you already have all of these for 26 different niches. So you have it right in front of you. You don't have to create anything. You don't have to create ebooks. You don't have to create templates. Nothing. All you do is run a sales funnel. That's it. And here's the kicker, if the average client stays for 3 months, including the first month, so not even 4, like 3 months, just month 1, month 2, and month 3, which is very low in terms of retention. As I said, with these types of services, we remove the business owner from chaos. The business owner never wants to return to chaos. If that plumber enjoys having dinner with their family, if that plumber enjoys spending time going to soccer practice with the kids or whatever it may be, do you think they'll ever want to go back to the point where they can't do any of that? Do they want to return to the chaos? Think about the pain. Think about the pain of waking up in the morning and thinking you have to go through all that all day. Think about the pain of stepping away from your phone and coming back to it. Think about the pain of opening up to see 5 missed calls overnight that could be potential leads. Think about how painful that is. Do they want to go back to it? No, they don't. They'll never want to go back. So retention being at 3 months is actually very low. You're looking more like 9, 12, and so on, so forth, like ongoing retention that doesn't stop because they never want to go back to chaos. That's the beauty of it. So even if they retain for just 3 months, not much at all, just 3 months, it produces an additional $24,656 because you've got your lower ticket subscription monthly recurring revenue, and you've got your $1,000 per month revenue as well, ticking in over and over and over again. $24,000 that produces. So your total projected value in a 3-month period from spending $5,000, $46,262. And again, this isn't projections. This isn't forecasting. This is exactly what happened. 9 times return. And it's not even, we're not looking at 12-month retention. We're only looking at 3-month retention. Think about that. How strong is your business at that point? It's incredibly strong. And there's a little caveat to that as well. This gives you so much room to maneuver, and I'm going to come on to the caveat in a few seconds. But the point is that at a 9 times return, I can handle any volatility. I have the room to breathe because my numbers work in the front end. It makes it much easier. I just keep this running across multiple niches over and over and over again. I don't even have to be that aggressive. I can be much calmer about it as well. All this does for me is it produces a consistent lead flow, and we have the infrastructure to monetize it effectively. You have the infrastructure to monetize this just like I do without having to build anything. You have the 26 different niches. You can take this and you can multiply it over and over and over again. So you've got your emails forming the foundation. You've got them calling the AI employees to book in calls. It just sits in the background nicely and it books calls. Then you have your ladder funnel, driving things forwards, just like I showed you here, just like a replica of mine. This is the exact system that I would run over and over and over and over and over again if I had to start over. This exact one. And remember, we then have about 75 to 80% of the leads that haven't upgraded. These can be sold further. This is where we can then run a 3-day workshop to easily convert more of these leads. But you have the power because you own the audience. So imagine your audience just refreshing every single week with new buyers, not leads, but buyers, people who have paid you money. Imagine that. Imagine the percentage, the 75% that haven't purchased anything. It's probably more like 78%. Imagine that. And you run the 3-day workshops to them where you give them value over 3 days. You're going to convert even more. So you're going to sweep up the breadcrumbs. And that's the magic in it. If I had to start all over again, these are the 2 systems that I'm building right now. and I'm running them. This allows me to pursue growth without taking the risk of anything. It provides protection against the risk, and your upside, as you saw, your upside is so big, and that didn't even account for email leads, right? We didn't even calculate that there. I just wanted to show you the ladder funnel as it was. So think about the multiples on that. Yet people will say I'm crazy to sell a complete automation for $27. They'll say I'm crazy. They'd never do it. They're so opposed to it. But you've got to think outside the box here. You've got to focus on the big picture. And remember, you have access to everything. You have the 26 different niches. You have all the systems, the automations, the processes. You've got ladder funnels. You've got the 3-day workshop strategies. You've got the email sequences. You're going to have the email flows with the AI employees built out as well. Every single component that I run, you can replicate. Basically immediately, apart from we've got obviously 26 AI employees as that sell the service. Is quite a lot to build. So we're building these, and I think we've got through 5 so far. We're building and releasing, but that's the only thing. That's the only thing. Everything else you can replicate in the next 30 minutes. That's the beauty of it, right? And we'll get those AI employees as fast as we possibly can. So we're good for it. You'll have it. As soon as we have it, you'll have it. All you have to do is open the conversation. Then you've isolated the attention, and it works very, very, very well. That's the key, isolating the attention. So, action steps to replicate this process. Step 1, you've got to get your emails flowing, right? You got to get your emails, your automations switched on. You got to get your leads hyper-personalized. You got to get them uploaded. Press the button. Then you're going to take your AI employees that will be ready for you literally as soon as we're so close to it. We'll have those AI employees. And to give you some context, we only decided to release these 2 days ago, and we've already got 5 done. So think about how fast we'll actually have that to you pretty soon. So once we have those AI employees, you're going to get the email sequences. You can add that in, have it call the number, have the leads call the number and experience it themselves as well. So you get 2 different forms of emails. Step 3 is to launch a ladder funnel. Again, you don't have to create the products. There is no product. The product is the service. It's done for you. So you just create the sales funnel. That's all you have to do is create that sales funnel. Then you can run it. And remember, all the fulfillment is pre-built as well. You don't even have to worry about that. And then once you're up and running, once you're going, once you have the leads flowing and you see the numbers and it's working nicely, then you can start adding the back-end workshops. And obviously I did a series recently showing you how to build the 3-day workshops. But this is where they can become very, very useful for you. You run these 3-day workshops and you convert the 7 to 8% of leads that haven't converted immediately. This becomes your machine. It becomes incredibly powerful. This is exactly what I would do if I was starting again today from scratch with nothing. And I've been speaking for over an hour. So I'm going to wrap up this presentation and open the floor to any questions that anybody has. But as you can hear, as usual, my voice is hoarse now from all that talking. All right. Who's up first? Does anybody have any questions they want us to cover about this process, about anything at all? Feel free. First one to unmute yourself gets it. Wade, you're the winner. Go for it.
I was over and over it, I'm just amazed at, you can consistently making me look really good to the wife with all this value you keep throwing on us. I really appreciate it, brother.
No worries. No worries.
I mention your name and she relaxes. So that's good.
There's always good stuff coming. And I think the AI employee, I think the trust factor, which a lot of people feel that they have, or it can be a limiting factor, is they don't have trust built. They don't have a presence of any kind. The experiential proof can actually take that problem away. So I think it will help a lot of people actually when prospects and leads can actually take it for a test drive before they have that conversation. And then, of course, they'll come onto the call pre-sold because they've experienced it themselves.
Right.
So I
That's
think
brilliant, brother. Thank you.
No worries. You're welcome. You're welcome. Olivier, go for it.
Yeah, you throw me a curveball the whole week, because I was watching the. Now I understand better, but like I was watching Duncan ladder funnel, and I could not make sense of an AI employee at 27. Because for me, an AI employee, you're gonna have to plug into, like, either you pay per activity on the traffic, or you have to pay the 97 monthly for it. So that's why front end one for the real estate, I didn't understand the 27 offer on the ladder funnel from him.
He's probably passing on the usage.
Yeah.
The usage fees, but
okay.
Honestly, I'm not even opposed to. I'm not opposed to it at all. I think the reality is, once you have that conversation with them, once they have the conversation, the door just opens, because the reason they won't buy something from you day one is simply because of trust. Once they have that trust, then they listen to what you say, and they want more of what you have.
So we just have to become really good at that conversation.
Yeah, and honestly, it's easy. I know I always say that because I'm, a lot of experience doing it, but it's easy simply because they're not coming on expecting you to sell them anything. And people don't want to sell anything either, right? They don't want to have a sales call. They don't, or a lot of business owners don't want to have to sell their product. They just want it to fit. So it's a simple. It's literally one question. Okay, those leads, those reviews are all set up for you. You'll get a lot more reviews, and as a result, you're going to be top, or you're going to increase your ranking in Google. You'll appear higher in the search. People are going to trust you more. They're going to call more. Now, what happens when that lead calls at 7 p.m.? Do you have a receptionist that works after hours to catch those leads? Because normally they're the hottest leads, right? Do you have a receptionist that does that?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So do you answer them yourself? What if you're at dinner? All right. Okay. I see. Right. We don't want to lose those leads. We can fix that, though. We can take care of all that for you. Is that something you're open to? Right? And
see, it comes so naturally to you. It flows. So we just need to get to that level of flow. That's okay. I re-listened 10 times the previous masterclass you gave us on that, so I will get the flow.
I was already reaching for the American Express.
Not again, Wade. Not again.
She took it away from me. I'm safe.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just getting used to the questions that they typically.
Exactly. It's just few trigger questions like that. That's when we get used to that, then it will flow. Yeah.
Exactly. And you'll find that after the first few, you'll know exactly what to ask. And honestly, silence probably works more for you than saying more things, right? And it's a case of let them answer and let them not have an answer. So who answers the phone when you're at dinner?
Yeah.
Let's say a lead is really interested. Who answers the phone? I guess it just goes to the voicemail. Oh, okay. You see how that makes you. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just sort of, okay. Well, we can fix that. I'm flipping it to the positive very quickly. Using that keyword, we can fix that. Remember, I've told you about the keyword. Using that a lot.
Yeah.
It shows them. I can tell them it's broken without actually having to say that it's broken.
Yeah.
Right.
You know all your little words. P&L. Like, I know. I get it. Just need to use it. I got it intellectually. I just need to practice it now. That's it.
Honestly, use it in daily life.
Yeah.
Try it. It will work. And don't tell anyone you're doing it, because once people see that you're doing it, they'll eventually clock on, and they won't be happy because you're
manipulated.
You're kind of manipulating, but in a nice way. You're trying to help them. So basically what I'm saying is, if you're going to use it at home, don't tell people you're using it at home. You get yourself into trouble. Like Wade probably does a lot.
I did not do that.
I know for a fact that you did that. I know for a fact.
Actually, you don't want to know who's the better one at it? It's the wife. So,
You're the better.
how is this going to work?
You're the one that's better at finding that Amex when she hides it, right?
Yeah, actually, I've already gotten approved for another.
Like a sniffer dog. That's what.
Yeah, I'm teasing. Someone told me just be curious.
Yep.
In a positive way, and and help them, get them to explain to you why, what their situation is, and it'll expose all those things.
Yep, exactly. Curious is actually another key word that if you use that word, you'll get a lot of sales calls. I can show you how this works in 15 minutes on Tuesday if you're curious. Well, everybody's curious. Everybody's interested in just seeing how it works, right? That's all it is. It's a very easy, low barriers to entry, low friction point. Yes. So that's another keyword you can use. Curious.
Thanks.
No worries, no worries. Christina, do you have a question there? I can see you unmuted.
Yes, yeah, I've got a couple of questions actually, if that's all right. So the first one is quite a simple one, but when you're doing the $27 one, would you pass on kind of SMS fees? It's only because one of my clients, I did that for him recently, and he gave me like a list of 1,000 people. So would you kind of charge those fees on, or how would you handle that?
Yeah. Typically, it's just charge them on, and
okay.
9 times out of 10, especially because they're not ongoing automations. Like this is why AI employees can be trickier on that very front end for 27, because that conversation can rack up a little bit more, whereas reviews, referrals, they're not tons and tons of messages going out, so the costs are pretty low. Sometimes I would tell you to pass the charge on, but you might get to a point where you just think, whatever, once you get to know the cost, you probably get to a point where you see the profit, like whatever, it doesn't matter. It's next to nothing for it. But I definitely say to start, pass it on. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not uncomfortable for them. You can also give them expectations. 1,000 leads does not cost a lot at all.
Yeah, okay. And then the other one was, so I've been, so obviously I only kind of started looking at everything, I think last week. Anyway, this week I had a few meetings with a few business owners, so I was just kind of testing the water. So obviously I've been offering the reviews, and as we chatted about, I wanted to offer like additional kind of things to add into their business. So exactly like what you've got here. So one of the business owners that I was speaking to, she was then really keen. So obviously I didn't have my sales script or anything like that. So it was very much an open conversation and everything. So I went through kind of all the bits which would make up the whole offer. Now, what would you do if somebody didn't want the whole lot? So they didn't want the $1,000 thing. Would you then break it down and say if they didn't want something or other, it would be like $750 a month, or how would you deal with that?
Yeah, I would strip things away from it, because that's the thing, right? It's that's actually why it's structured the way it is, because if you ever get a price objection, which generally speaking you shouldn't really get too many of them, because it's not too, it's not too expensive, but if you ever did, you could always say, okay, yeah, no problem, I understand. What we can do is we can remove the database reactivation component. We can add that back in later once you see the traction. But what that'll do is that'll save you $200 a month, lower the price, get you started, and then once you see the impact, we can add it back in and get it really cranking for you. It's just a way of flipping it, right? Like that's
okay, cool. Yeah, because I think she wants me to go back to her with the price, so I'll kind of put it all together. And then would you, so because when we were chatting, so obviously we're in pounds. So she said, oh, how much do you think that would be? And I said, off the top of my head, maybe around 500 a month kind of thing. So would you just go back and say these are the bits that you can have for the 500 a month? Is that? I think I'm overthinking it probably a little bit, but yeah, just
So
I think I was yeah. Carry on.
I would say you're thinking about it from adding things in. I think you have to think of it more from a strip things out, right? You've got the flagship, that's your 1,000 per month, or yeah, like let's just call it 1,000 for the sake of round numbers. 1,000 per month. Okay, perfect. Listen, what we can do is we can take away the maybe probably do the database reactivation because you'll still want referrals. I personally like to do this on a call instead of by email if I can. So I'll just call them quickly. Hey, have you got 15 minutes? I need to run something by you. Yep, sure. Give me a quick call. And I'll strip things away more than try to add things in. So I'm never starting from this will cost you this. I'm saying, look, the package is 1,000, but what I can do is the database reactivation that makes up £250 of it. So what I can do is I can take that off. We can add it back in later once you get a bit of momentum, because it'll be a no-brainer for you then, right? They'll always say, yeah, perfect. So we'll take that out. The rest are essential components, but that's going to save you $250. How's that sound? Does that work? So you're very fast with it, right? These are recorded. This is 1 hour, 14 minutes into it. If you want to play this back, try and use that flow, like the speed, to get to the speed that I did that at. The speed's important because it puts the decision right in front of them where they're like, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
It just leads towards that.
Cool.
Does that make sense? That's not too much?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, that's good. Yes, thank you. I think it was, just needed kind of that clarification. And I think, I'll definitely give her a call. We can have a chat about it. So yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah,
just send her a text and say, hey, I want something past you. Have you got 15 minutes? That's literally the sentence to say. And do this through a call, because you can use the pace. You also don't want her staring at that number. We want her to be anchored at the top, and you're removing things. They're going to add it back in. She's not going to lose it, but to make it a bit easier, we'll take that away. That's the way. Always start at the top, okay? Never go up. Always start at the top.
Okay. Fab. Lovely. Thank you.
No worries. All right. Sapphira had a question. Oh, no, not question. She said, this is great timing. I was working on a done for you service intro. I'm guessing intro offer yesterday. Perfect. That's the way to do it, Sapphira. Definitely. And just out of interest in the chat, have you had any snow yet in British Columbia? Let me know.
Oh no, it's like gonna be 15, 18 degrees this week. So
you just skipped it. You just skipped the snow altogether.
Completely. For like 4 days we had it. That was it.
Oh well, that's crazy. That's crazy. I wish that happened when I lived there. That's for sure. Alyssa's she's been in Ottawa this week, and it has been like -7, -8. I was not jealous at all. I was perfectly fine in my little 10 degrees. That was nice. All right. Does anybody else have any questions they want us to cover? Feel free to ask whatever you please. Daryl?
Yeah. So I'm just trying to reinforce my understanding. Like, for example, if let's say customers or friends, sometimes they ask me what am I selling. So then if I say that, okay, I'm selling just a system infrastructure that helps the clients to reactivate the database of the existing leads or customers, facilitate the automatic review, and also facilitating referrals, and also handle missed calls or book appointment, and then having automated follow-ups without the customer actually requiring to do any effort on their part except to provide their database, their contacts, the email and the phone contacts of the existing customer database that they have. Is it correct to say that the customers don't have to do anything, that everything at the back end is actually handled by us for them?
Yeah, technically you're correct in what you're saying. I would as you know me, I would spin it a little in a bit of a story. I would say, if someone asked me what do I do, what I would say is I make business owners more money without them having to spend any more money, right? Because it's going to hook attention very quickly. And then when I say what we do is like, basically when leads call your business, let's say you're a plumber. I always use the plumber because it's like, I always use plumbers or electricians mainly because I actually had this scenario where I did have, like, I'm pretty stupid around the house and I don't know a lot of things. So like I had a plug socket that was like burning for some reason. And you know, you go on ChatGPT and the house is going to explode. So I was worried on a Sunday night at 10 p.m. trying to figure out what I do. So I'm trying to go through Google, right? And this is like, if I'm telling someone this story, I would actually tell this story. And you can just make that. This is a real story, but you can just make it up. Where, you know, who do I call? And what I do, the first thing I was doing, I was looking through Google and I picked the best reviewed one because, you know, if other people trust them, then I'm going to trust them more. You know, I ignored the other ones. But what I did was I called the first one, it rang out, and I moved on to the next one and I called them and it rang out. Then I called the third one and I finally got through and I managed to get an appointment booked for the next day. And that electrician got my business. Now, what that means is that the first two, although they had great reviews, lost the business because they didn't answer the phone. The third one nearly didn't get the business because the reviews weren't very good. So what we do is we build systems that automate this entire process, that make sure they capture all the leads, they stop losing any money, they are at the top of the search as best as we possibly can because they're the best reviewed. And also all those leads I've had in the past, we nurture those, we get them to reorder, we get them to come back again. We reactivate old leads that they've lost, maybe paid for with marketing. We reactivate those people so they come back into the business. And on top of that, instead of always having to pay for new customers, we build referral systems that allow them to increase their customer base without actually spending any money. So it saves them a lot. Basically, that's what we do. That's our entire system. We just install it and it's completely done for them, taken care of. So you see how I position that in like story mode? Captures the attention a lot more. So I'm never pushing products or services. I'm never being really specific. I don't, you know, I wasn't specific at all. I just painted the problem, the cost / opportunity cost, painted that, and then we provide the solution. And you'll notice when I presented the solution, it was so short and easy. It was calmer. I pay a lot of attention, and this goes for everyone. When I do something like this, pay attention to when I'm speaking quickly and then when I slow down, because what I'm doing is I'm creating a sense of overwhelm and then I'm creating a sense of calm. So you're going to default to the calm section. So again, this is minute 1 hour 20 of this call. If you want to replay it, that's where you go back to 1 hour 20 if you just want to copy that flow.
But I'm just asking whether, I mean, based on the experience, I mean, the demographics of our potential client, is there a certain age group or a certain mentality that, because certain customers they tend to ask like, oh, are you using GoHighLevel? Then what is they tend to drill down. They may ask about the mechanics of the CRM system that we are doing. How does it work behind the picture? Would they ask certain things like that? Or we select those customers that they won't ask about this kind of things?
I have never been asked that question across thousands
of
calls.
Okay.
There was one single time, and I remember this guy because his name was Mark. I'll never forget. Life insurance guy. He had come across GoHighLevel before. And we were charging $1,000 per month for the systems, the reactivation systems, and we had a lead flow from LinkedIn. We did LinkedIn lead gen for him. And he got really annoyed because he thought he was just getting GoHighLevel and it was $97 a month and we were charging him $1,000 a month. And then I thought, this is too much. I'm not even going to bother trying to flip. That's too far gone down that lane. So there's no point for it. That's the only time I've ever had anybody outside of the marketing space GoHighLevel up once. And it was this guy, Mark. Never forgot him clearly.
Then I asked whether they're like, let's say, I mean, for the ladder funnel, right? For the front end, can we offer like news to generate like newsletters for customers as the front end product to get them in to opt in first. Then after that, then you later on we nurture, then slowly upsell them to our engine.
Yes, but you'd have to frame the newsletters as nurture. Like what the way you want to frame it is here's what you do, right? These business owners, they know you've got January, new year, new me. In every industry, people are motivated, new homes, spring cleaning, you've got summer comes into play, you've then got Black Friday, you've got Christmas, you've got Thanksgiving, all these different holidays, and there's probably a ton more that I missed. They know if you look at a plumber's social media profile, right? And let's say they've got a social media person that does it, they try and follow the trends. So what I would do is I would run email campaigns, their entire marketing calendar built out for them for $27, which is just like emails for each season. Now you can just templatize these and just customize them a little bit. You build them once, done. It's probably something like 20 emails or so. Once and done. And then you can set them up and go high level. Remember, get the conversation. Set them up and go high level, get it sending. And they're all their entire year, they don't have to worry about their marketing because in terms of seasonal. That's what I would frame a newsletter as.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem. Hopefully that helped. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Feel free to ask.
And so the date that you're going to, I'm sorry, go ahead. I was going to say the date that you're releasing these employees, AI employees, do you have, are there 5 that are already ready, or they're all going to be released at one time? Or
I think we're going to release them like one by one, basically, right? Just as and when they're ready. I probably won't be before the 7th of April, just because, well, it might be. It depends. It depends. I have to speak to Alyssa about it, but she's back then, and I know she's busy. She's meeting up with Donald actually again tomorrow in person, doing a GoHighLevel training session. So she's doing that. So I know she's busy then. So it's probably going to be Friday/Monday before I can really speak to her about it. So I'll see where she's at in terms of systems. So I'll probably have a more accurate release roadmap, I guess, by that point.
all right, you be nice to her when you're talking to her. We don't want any delays.
I'll do my best.
Thank you, brother.
And Olivia's saying that you can fly to the Netherlands for a borrel drinks. Oh, is that what that is in the Netherlands? Is that Dutch then for like aperitivo?
Yeah, that's a Dutch term for for that. When you invite someone to a borrel, is that?
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. You know what? 19 degrees sounds beautiful. I'm hoping for some.
Yeah, we'll send you some your way, man.
Yeah. We're thinking about actually doing. It depends. We're trying to think about the logistics, but we're trying to think about how we can do location sort of visits where maybe we'll have 5-10 people coming in and doing different training sessions over the course of maybe like a Saturday and Sunday or something like that, but trying to do it maybe like in, for example, Amsterdam, so people who are close to that can come, or London, and then maybe doing like Toronto or New York, or maybe not New York because it's just a whole faff. Atlanta, yeah, there you go. Atlanta's going to be in Atlanta.
It's 75 degrees here.
Don't wait. Oh, you've got the Masters next week, right? You got the Masters.
Yes,
where's my
do.
for that? I thought you were getting me tickets to that. What happened?
You thought I was getting you tickets for a thing I don't even go to. That's brilliant. You know, the wife took the credit card away from me. I couldn't do it even if I wanted to.
That's true.
I'm just teasing.
That's actually a good idea. But we're thinking about this. Logistically, we're trying to see, because obviously it involves people traveling, because not everyone's going to be in the same location. But we're going to try and do those because I know that Donald's absolutely loved his day, and he's having a second one tomorrow. Absolutely loved it. and thought it was really beneficial. So we're thinking about trying to do this more and doing maybe like East-West throughout Europe, London, etc. So you never know, we might be closer than you think. So Fire, you're saying, do we use the ladder funnel templates that's in the AI Ascension, or would it be a simpler landing page? I would say maybe half of the length of it. You still need a bit of detail, but we're not having to sell it too much. It has to be very tangible. The most important thing you can do actually is build more visual graphics into that. So if we think about don't tell, show, or show, don't tell, where we're trying to show them, like, this is how it works. Have a look at in the WhatsApp chat, the video that Duncan produced about his AI employee. That was we were on the call yesterday, and I said to him to create that story, and look, that tells the story perfectly. That's so good, that video, just in telling that story. So I would try and, you don't have to do videos like that, but try and get that same story into a visual. That's what you want to do. And the best one I've used for that is actually GenSpark AI. So I just tell it, create a visual of this process or story. This is where you get all these images from, and these slides and stuff. But I just tell it to create the visual of this process, and it does it really well. So try that as well. All right. No worries.
So
yeah.
One last question, and I'll shut up. The when you mentioned you had all these employees already put together, they're like the scripts, if you will. What is it that you're building?
Okay, they are. So there's two different types of AI employees, right? You've got the ones that deal with so there's the one that you install in the plumber's business that deals with their customers calling up for plumbing issues or to book an appointment. This AI employee, the new ones are designed for them to take for the plumber to call the number, take a test drive, pretend he's a plumbing customer. What would it look like? And then what it's done, or what happens is it then transitions mid-call to actually softly sell the plumber on installing his own AI employee, and then booking a call to chat with you further. So it does that transition, is to sell your offer. There's one for the plumber and one to sell your offer. That's the difference.
Basically pushes them to role play with the AI, like if they were their own clients who will call their business and then sell them on putting one in place themselves. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Exactly. So experiential proof, that's the idea, right? Imagine if they get booked in. Imagine they think, can an AI employee book appointment? Can it actually book appointments for me? But then they're booked in. Just like a ladder funnel. People will think, well, does a ladder funnel actually work? And then they realize, oh, wait a second, they entered my world with a ladder funnel.
Yep.
It's like the proof is there, you know? That's why
that's brilliant.
I like to show you it, right? I like to show you, look, this is what it looks like, and this is, you experienced it. That's why it works.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I'm not going to need to do anything. I'm just going to be sitting at the house, and the wife's going to think I'm not doing any work. I got to go pretend or something. It's really good.
Just go out a lot of walks. That's what to do. And that sunshine.
There you go.
You will show by result when the green is coming in.
What's that? What'd you say?
I say you will show your work that you are working by the result with the green coming in.
That's true. That's true. When you get a new door, you know, like, where'd that come from? Oh, Wade's been doing something.
She goes, oh, that's what work looks like. This is really good, brother.
No worries. All right. Does anybody else have any further questions? No further questions. All right. I will wrap up the call on that note. I'll get this when Google sends it to me. As ever, there's usually a delay of quite a few hours now. Actually, I think it's the call length. So when it sends it to me, we'll get it uploaded. We'll send the recording out. You'll get that, and yes, we will be releasing those AI employees into all
on the
accounts.
7th.
That's no, I'm holding that. That's her flying day. She'll kill me if I did that.
Pushy, Wade.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, we'll get it sorted as fast as we can. And she actually just got her visa today, so it was good. She was looking at. She may have to like change her flights and all sorts, but it came in this morning, so that's good. And that's good for 5 years or something. So yeah, should be good there. And we'll get that done. Get it sorted. Lots of stuff coming for you. Lots and lots of stuff, and it'll all be included in your accounts. So good news. And any questions, you know where to find us. As ever, please don't sit in silence. Please let us know if you need help. We're here to help, and we'll keep moving forwards. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming, and you're welcome, everyone in the chat there. Thank you. I will chat to you all soon. As I said, you know where to find us.
Bye, brother.
See ya. All right, everyone. Chat to you later.
Bye. Bye.
See ya. See ya.